government needed to send a message that crime did not pay. So they created Alcatraz, the very last stop in the country's prison system, a place to send the worst criminals of all. Listen carefully now. I've invited some of the former inmates, guards, and residents of the Lock to tell you their stories themselves. My name is Jim Quillen. I was an inmate at Alcatraz for 10 years and 1 day.
Yeah, my name is Leon Whitey Thompson. My number was 1465.
Oh, that's honey.
AZ 1465. I was over to the Bureau of Prisons.
They said that the cold water and deadly currents of the bay made Alcatraz virtually escape-proof. Prisoners might break out of the cell blocks, but getting off the island was an almost impossible challenge. There's no definite proof that any prisoner ever escaped Alcatraz alive, but that didn't keep desperate men from trying.
The lower building, a two-story long white building, was the prison industries built around 1940. There were a number of attempted escapes that started from that building. There was one incident where the inmates got to the top of the building. You'll see a small tower there. They were going to attack that tower. The officer spotted them, and he shot and killed one and wounded another, and the other was captured.
Look at the rocks at this end of the island. One escape attempt ended right here.
Professionals, people who are mailboxes and banks and so forth. Robert Stroudsburg, Al Capone, Mickey Cohen, Frankie Garbo, Machine Gun Kelly. You know, just another stupid fool like I was. And that's the way most of the other cons felt about me, because everybody was the same on the rock.
As we come around the island, the three-story guards barracks above the landing dock. You'll also see a metal frame tower in the right corner of the dock.
The tower that you see is the dock tower. It was manned 24 hours a day. It had a large group of weapons, had a 30-06 rifle, 30 caliber rifle, tear gas gun, 38 revolver. Men were shot and killed from that tower.
On the walls of the guards barracks, you can still see writing from the Indian occupation of 1969 to 1971. Look for the words Indian land and Indians welcome. A group of 89 Native Americans claimed the island, held out there for 2 years. Historian John Martini here to explain what happened.
They claimed Alcatraz under an old treaty that said that male members of the Great Sioux Nation could homestead unused excess federal property. It was the first time in nearly a century when Indians of all tribes had gathered together for a common purpose.
In the end, the Indians were forced off the island. They were probably the only inhabitants of Alcatraz ever to leave unwillingly for everyone else. Prepare yourselves, is going to utter the forbidden word. Frisco shall be the of a high misdemeanor and shall pay into the Imperial Treasury as penalty the sum of $25. There's another nickname San Franciscans do it. They call their city the City. City with capital C, right? The City. As if it's the only one. Then again, there really isn't any other place quite like this city. So perhaps they're not. Side of the waterfront. Yet a unique reason because the tower is named in honor of a lady who was just wild about firefighters. Lily Hitchcock Coit. She dressed up like a man so she could hang out with her heroes. Was named an honorary firefighter herself. See, back in my day, they wouldn't let women become firefighters. But times have changed for the better since then. In fact, in 2004, San Francisco hired the first female fire chief. Too bad Lily wasn't around to see that. You can climb to the top of Coit Tower yourself for a 360-degree view of the city and bay. If you'd like to visit more